you plan on moving into the Denver metro area, Broomfield may have hit your radar, but today we're going to be covering 5 reasons that you may not want to choose Broomfield, Colorado.
All right, let's go. If this is your first time watching, we are your Colorado real estate family, Pete and Chelsea Sweeney.
Yes, and as much as we love making these videos for you, we love even more so helping with your real estate needs. So if you're looking for a licensed real estate agent here in the state of Colorado, we're going to put our phone number down below. Call or text us anytime.
Before we get started, let's talk about Broomfield a little bit. Growing up here in Colorado, Broomfield was always known as like your ultimate suburbia, right? Where you have housing community after housing community, and then you got parks and you got box stores from the corner to corner. Hopefully you could hear me after that car just drove by. But that's kind of what Broomfield always was. And so there are a few things that do rub people the wrong way. And we're gonna break into the first one right now.
So the first thing that we're gonna be talking about is its lack of urban lifestyle.
Yep.
So we talk about how people are moving from Denver all the time and they're kind of attracted to these areas with these downtowns and old towns and all of that. Broomfield has never really had that until, which is where we are right now. Arista. So I think it's like a first attempt, don't you think?
This is our first attempt. A big reason that Arista blew up the way that it did is because of the First Bank Center. And if you could turn around, if you could somehow, I don't know, maybe I'll get a video of it. The First Bank Center would be right behind you, and then this came after that. And so you have a lot of this shopping, a lot of this kind of restaurant style walkway space right here, and then over towards this area over here, it's a little bit more your housing where you have row homes. They do have some single family homes over there as well too, but the closer you get to this downtown Arista areas where you have your row home or your townhouse style of house.
Now, we say first attempt for a reason because it still doesn't seem really connected to Broomfield. It kind of feels like its own little space. There's the 36 that's separating it. There's not, on the other side it's Wadsworth. Like it's just kind of in this little triangular space that doesn't really connect. It doesn't feel like it really connects to Broomfield.
There is a second attempt for Broomfield to kind of bring in that urban lifestyle, and that is called Baseline. Baseline is trying to kind of commingle your suburban / urban style lifestyle. They might have a better idea of doing it over there. It's not quite complete, so we don't know what that field's going to be like, but that's what they're really going for with Baseline, which is kind of your north side of Broomfield. Outside of that, you really don't have that urban lifestyle here in Broomfield.
The second thing that people complain about when it comes to Broomfield is going to be its cost of living. As far as cost of living goes, what we usually do is the national average is 100. Anything above it is going to be more expensive. Anything below it is going to be less expensive. So Colorado as a whole is already above national average at 120. Here over in Broomfield, it's 134.2. So it's more expensive than Colorado, but still a little bit cheaper in some of the surrounding cities, but still definitely going to cost you a penny.
Yeah, I mean, we're not talking Boulder status. We know that Boulder is crazy expensive in regards to most of these cities, but Broomfield is still more expensive than your Denver or even Denver metro area. And so some people are like, you know what, Broomfield, I'd love to live there. It's just a little bit too expensive. What are we looking at when we're talking about the real estate? So real estate, single family homes, median sales price is $600,000. And believe it or not, this might be a good reason why it's a good time to purchase. It's down 5% year over year. Now let's look at your attached. Your attached median sales price is $400,000. It's funny how those both kind of rounded up and down, I guess, so it's an even number, but I digress. So then what is that? That is actually down 13%. So both areas are down, which is crazy to see because we're not really seeing that. Like, we did a video in Westminster, it wasn't down, it was up just slightly, but still, the fact that Broomfield is down in the way it is, it might be a great time to buy, just kind of putting that out there.
we're going to be covering a couple more things of why people don't like Broomfield. But if these haven't been a turnoff for you yet, stick around to the end because we are going to throw in 3 bonus things about Broomfield that are making people choose Broomfield. So if these haven't deterred you, stick around to the end. This city might actually be for you. All right, the third thing that we're going to talk about and things that people don't like about Broomfield is going to be the walkability. We've talked about these downtown urban lifestyle that usually kind of ties into those areas where you have that walkability to shops, restaurants, things like that.
Yep.
Because Broomfield is very suburbia, we just don't have that walkability. You have to have a car in Broomfield.
Yep.
If you're going to be driving to and from the parks or taking your kids to do things, shopping, restaurants, you are going to be getting in the car and driving to it.
Yeah, just kind of following back on that. I mean, if you want walkability in Broomfield, you're going to have to be either here in Arista or Baseline once it's eventually or finally finished. You do have these master plans, so we talk about Anthem quite a bit. Yes, they do have the rec centers that are close by. You do see your neighbors walking through there, but as far as shopping goes, if you want to go out and shopping to a restaurant, it's not there in Broomfield since it is such a huge suburban area.
Yeah, so just talk about that for a second. Shopping, if you want to go shopping, you are going to be going over to Westminster, you're going to be going over to Flatirons Mall, up 36. Like, it is not right there. Now, I know that that's not a huge reason not to choose a city. However, if people are looking to just kind of walk and go do that, you're not going to find it here.
Yep. The fourth reason why Broomfield might not be the city for you is its lack of public transit. There's 0 plans currently for any stations to be in Broomfield, Colorado. If there was going to be a station in Broomfield, Colorado, it would be an extension of the B line, which comes out of Westminster, but he says as of right now, nothing is on the books. And so that's a huge thing because we always talk about if you want to get down in Denver, not have to deal with the traffic, people like being by those light rail stations, and there is just 0 of them here in Broomfield.
Yeah, so people will argue that they have the Flatiron Flyer, which is going to be the bus station. It's going to be about 21 minutes from here to, say, Denver, so not bad. Taxi ride's about the same. It's going to be about 20 minutes or so, and then driving's 20 minutes, so obviously it's all very similar. So it's not super far from Denver necessarily, but a lot of people are not trying to go down there and park in Denver and kind of deal with that daily traffic. So they do like taking more convenient transportation options. Now, the good thing about Broomfield is it does have 2 different options of going down to Denver, and so as long as you're kind of close to one of those. So on the west side in Broomfield, it's going to be 36. That's that diagonal highway that'll take you down to Denver, and then on the east side, you're going to have I-25. So as long as you're close to those 2 things, you're going to have a convenient trip down to Denver, but again, you're driving.
I'm going to say, guys, I did a horrible job choosing this spot to record because the sun's beaming down on me. The cloud came and blocked it. I was like, all right, cool, it's going to be a great rest of the video, but then Chelsea gets a little too cold, so I was like, you can't get too cold over here. So
we're actually outside for the first time in a while recording because we are in February 2023, and it usually, like, it's going to snow tomorrow.
Let's see what is it right now. So right now it's 60 degrees in Colorado in February.
It's going to snow. We're supposed to get a foot in like a day though.
Oh shit, yeah.
Just so you know. Anyways, so we might be inside for a little bit. Okay, moving on to the 5th reason that people don't choose Broomfield when moving to Colorado, and that is the HOA galore.
Yeah, there is a ton of HOAs here. Like, pretty much there's an old portion of Broomfield where you didn't have those HOAs, but pretty much 2000s on, they started building a bunch of brand new developments, and all those have an HOA fee associated with living in that development. And so that turns a lot of people off because, like, I don't want to live in an HOA. I don't want to pay those dues. I don't want this or I don't want that. Even though there are great conveniences like pools, like trash, all those different things, people don't want the HOA, and it's hard to avoid if you are moving into Broomfield without being in the older portion or the older houses in Broomfield, Colorado.
Now, I know I'm not supposed to be talking about any of the pros yet, but I do have to say Broomfield does do a pretty good job on what they offer for the HOA in comparison to some of the other cities where you're paying high HOA and you don't have the pools and you don't have this. So if my biggest advice would be working with the agent, just being like, what am I actually paying for? And just making sure that if you are going to be paying those high HOAs, that you're actually getting something in return for that as far as the community amenities.
I know our HOA, we don't. We don't have any amenities whatsoever. Yeah. We bought into like a smaller community, and since we did, it just takes care of pretty much the maintenance and all the snow and all that. And our HOA is way higher than most of these other ones. They have pools, they have community, or not the community, so what I'm trying to say, the clubhouses, all this crap that we don't have, and they're paying like half the HOA just because our community is so small. Yeah,
we wanted the small community, and we were okay with paying the HOA, but we should have done a tiny bit better job on figuring out exactly what we're going to be paying for the HOA for. So if you're going to be paying HOA, find out what you're paying for because they do get kind of pricey.
Yep.
All right, if you stuck around this long, we are going to give you a little bit of bonus. It's hard to talk about Broomfield in a negative light. If you are not looking for city life and all of these things are not turning you away from Broomfield, it's probably because Broomfield is for you. So 3 things that we think people are choosing Broomfield, and it was hard to narrow it down to 3, but we're going to give you a quick insight. We're not going to go into it. If you have questions, reach out. But the 3 things are...
The most obvious one is Baseline Anthem area. That area is blowing up like crazy. I think we actually need to do a revisit video to that because we did it probably like a year and a half ago, and it's already grown so much since then. But that area right there is a huge pro, or a great reason why so many people are moving into that Broomfield.
The second thing that people love about Broomfield is they are dedicating 40% of all of the city to its open space and parks, which is wonderful. If you're going to have this awesome suburbia area, you want to be able to get the kids outside. We're seeing all these new neighborhoods who are incorporating in these public parks and different open spaces surrounding it by. It is absolutely stunning how Broomfield keeps 40% of it open space and parks.
Yeah, so the last one that we're going to kind of talk about is the fact that Broomfield is a city and a county all in one. And a lot of people really do like that because you kind of have one in each other, right? Where if you have one city that's in a different county as a bunch of other cities are in that same county, sometimes you have conflicting things when you're looking to build, regulations, different fees. And so the fact that Broomfield and the city are all in itself, it makes it a little bit easier. It's not as convoluted as opposed to a county and a city being completely different.
Okay, so we gave you 5 different reasons people don't choose Broomfield, and we snuck in a couple pros at the end. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. We do these videos for you.
And of course, guys, we're going to throw that phone number below. One more time right there. Give us a call, give us a text. Doesn't matter day or time. We are there to answer all of them. And until next time, we love you. Bye.
Bye. Yeah, Broomfield may have Dang it. Let me try again. Looking for a licensed real estate agent here in Colorado. Here's our phone to get a hold of. I don't know where I was going. I don't know. It's like a hard transition into that. And the second thing is in the city.
Yep.
City. Yeah. Okay, hold on. Can I start that over?
Yeah.
Okay.